Hello and welcome to a new edition of the Silver Bulletin. I'm James King, the sports director.
And I'm Alicia Graves, the assistant sports director. Let's get right into the highlights from last week's game against Illinois. Ohio State sent off their senior Saturday afternoon the best way they knew how, with a big win and a spot in the Big Ten championship. Despite a torrential downpour, the Buckeyes defeated the Illini 52-14. The Buckeyes scored on their first 6 possessions of the game. On the first drive, sophomore running back Mike Weber made a short 4-yard rush up the right to put points on the board early for the Buckeyes. On the following possession, junior wide receiver Paris Campbell would make a big play by swerving past defenders for 44 yards to the Illinois 3-yard line. Senior quarterback JT Barrett would cap off the drive with a 3-yard rush up the middle. The Ohio State defense continued to hold Illinois to very few yards, and the Illini struggled to get a first down. The Buckeyes would quickly gain possession of the ball, and Weber, for the second week in a row, would showcase his top speed with a 43-yard touchdown run. On their 4th drive, Ohio State would start at the 49-yard line, and Barrett would complete a 38-yard pass to Campbell. On the next play, Barrett would complete another pass, this time to sophomore wide receiver Benjamin Victor, and the Buckeyes would go up 28-0. This would be Barrett's 100th touchdown pass of his career. At the start of the second quarter, Barrett struggled to complete deep passes to wide receivers KJ Hill and Terry McLaurin, forcing them to go for a 33-yard field goal, bringing the score 31-0. After a series of rushes, freshman running back J.K. Dobbins would score his first touchdown of the game with a short 1-yard rush up the middle. Freshman quarterback Dwayne Haskins would enter the game later in the second but struggled to score. On his first drive, he would be sacked by Illinois linebacker Trey Watson. Early in the third, Haskins would fumble the ball that was then recovered by Illinois defensive back Amari Hayes, who would run it for 54 yards for a touchdown, and Illinois would put up their first points in the game. On the following drive, Barrett would re-enter the game and respond back with a 12-yard touchdown pass to senior tight end Marcus Baugh. Barrett would finish his last game in Ohio Stadium with 141 passing yards for 2 touchdowns. Weber added 2 touchdowns of his own, along with 108 yards with 11 attempts on the ground, helping the Buckeyes to a 52-14 victory over the Illini.
Now let's take a look at the top 5 plays from the game against Illinois. At number 5 is Illinois quarterback Amari Hayes for this fumble return. Dwayne Haskins scrambled outside of the pocket and the ball came out. Hayes scooped the ball up and ran it back 54 yards for Illinois' first touchdown. Coming in at number 4 is Dwayne Haskins and Benjamin Victor for this 21-yard touchdown connection. Victor caught 2 touchdowns on the evening, including JT Barrett's 100th career passing touchdown. At number 3 is wide receiver Paris Campbell. Campbell took the end around and wove his way through the Illini defense before finally being drugged down yards from the goal line. Staking an almost permanent spot in the top 5 is Mike Weber for this 43-yard touchdown. Weber continued to build on his performance from last week as he and freshman J.K. Dobbins split carries. And capping us off at number 1 is some post-game dancing from the Buckeyes. Ohio State had plenty to celebrate in the rain as they clinched their berth in the Big Ten championship and the Big Ten East title.
The end of an era is near. Quarterback JT Barrett and 18 other seniors were honored this past Saturday as they played their last game in the shoe. This class included Tyquan Lewis, Billy Price, Chris Worley, Damon Webb, Marcus Baugh, and Jamarco Jones. This senior class is looking to become the only class to have been undefeated against Michigan next week.
Today, the Ohio State community lost an All-American wide receiver and Buckeye great Terry Glenn. Glenn died in Irving, Texas at about midnight on Monday morning after a car crash. Glenn played for Ohio State from 1993 to 1995, and he holds the school record for receiving yards in a game with 253 and receiving touchdowns in a season with 17. Glenn was 43 years old.
That's all we have for you this week on the Silver Bulletin. Be sure to subscribe to Lantern TV on YouTube and like us on Facebook. Also, for game day coverage, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and add us on Snapchat. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next week.
See ya.